this is Graham Miller. Welcome back to BNI TV. This is the $10 million tutorial series. This is for businesses that today are between $200,000 in revenue and $2 million in revenue. We want to help that segment of businesses in particular leapfrog to become $10 million businesses. And so we do that because we're really excited to help those businesses create jobs in their communities that help families prosper and help communities continue to grow. So thank you for joining BNI TV. It is great to have you here today. And so here's a little bit about my background. I'm really excited and honored to be able to work with over 280,000 businesses around the world. Those businesses have created nearly 18 billion in revenue in the last year alone. And I'm really focused on businesses that have a positive social impact, and that's why I'm very involved with BNI. So love entrepreneurship, love the chance to be with you here today. Today we're going to be talking about a really important topic, and that is onboarding top talent. And so we're going to be talking about what you do before day one, what you do in the first 90 days, and then how do you assure the ongoing success of that new teammate. So in prior episodes, we talked a lot about how do we attract and screen and validate the right kind of candidates, not just for the projects and the tasks that are on deck now, but for the future trajectory of your organization. And so now we want to talk about how do we onboard those teammates so that they're happy and successful for years and years to come. And so before day one, the moment they accept the offer, you want to celebrate. And so I understand that not every business has the resources to send, a really nice gift to every teammate that is joining. But even a handwritten card is great, or flowers. Those are things that can really help celebrate that moment where that candidate has made the decision to join your organization. That's a really exciting time for both the candidate and the organization. So you want to memorialize that and celebrate that. You want to try to get the new hire paperwork done before they join if you can. So remember, your first impression or their first impression is before day one, not even day one. So to the extent we can get some things out of the way before day one, that is great. Are there some very select elements of pre-reading that they could go over before they join, so they start getting inculcated into the culture and the projects and the strategic plans of the organization? If so, it might be a really great time to share that with them before they join, so they continue to get more and more excited about their first day. And then you want to make sure that they're assigned a mentor. And so let's talk about that for a moment. It's not a manager, and the mentor should not be really within their department, depending how big or small your organization is. Ideally, a mentor is kind of a peer level person in a different department. They're really there for the new hire to ask any questions they have, big or small, any of the silly questions they might have. Of course, there's no silly questions, but sometimes new candidates are hesitant to ask certain elements about, what should I wear to the office? What are certain elements of culture that I can help support? Those kind of questions their manager, of course, can support, but you want to make sure that they have a chance to ask those to a mentor. And then the mentor should meet them at a specific time on their first day so that they are warmly welcomed into the organization. So that first impression really happens before day one, and we want to make sure day one goes really well too. So then they start boot camp. So what is boot camp? Is it, where they're jogging around your building and doing calisthenics and things? Not really. Boot camp, in our definition, is really a protected bubble. Now, depending on the role and the organization, that might be between 1 and 3 weeks, but that is a place where that new teammate is in a protected bubble. They're not working on projects. What they're doing is they're really becoming inculcated into the organization. They're learning about the products or services that your organization provides. They're building relationships. They're doing a lot of reading to come up to speed on the history and current trajectory of the organization. That's really what boot camp is all about. It should be structured, but it really should be kind of a self-study process. And then there should be a graduation or checkout process at the end of that boot camp process. Now, a lot of you are saying, listen, I'm a small business. I don't really have the resources to hire new folks and then have them, not working on projects right away. I would suggest reconsidering that, because, the biggest investment that you're making is in the talent and, the team that you're developing. And so by investing in that first part of their onboarding, you're reducing the risk that they will kind of have a misfire in one of their early projects And you're really setting them up for a lot of success if you're investing that time to let them get acclimated first, and then they kind of come out of boot camp at a much higher velocity. So even if you're a really small business, I would really consider a structured, protected time that we call boot camp when that new teammate is joining. They really appreciate it. And they come out of that boot camp energized and ready to contribute. Now, let's talk about the first 90 days. A lot of times we're excited to have a new teammate joining because we have a really important big project that we want them to work on. And it might be best for that new teammate to start creating some wins with some small tasks, and then building up to some tactical projects, and then starting to work on big strategic projects. And the reason for that is we don't want to set them up to fail with a big, controversial, risky, hard to execute kind of project right when they're learning about the organization and the landscape. So being really intentional about that first 90 days is really important for every organization and every manager. The best practice is really working with them on some small tasks, developing wins, recognizing those wins, morphing those into projects, and then they can take on ownership for certain parts of the organization. Third, I wanted to mention, in that early phase, it's so important to build relationships with these new teammates. And one of the ways that the president or founder of your organization can do that is by having just an open-ended whiteboard session. It might be 2 hours with 2 or 3 teammates where you just outline the history of the organization, where you are today, what you want to accomplish over the next year, over the next 5 years, and just let that teammate ask questions, and you have a chance to get to know that teammate as well. And that's really important for talent development. So having a senior teammate or the founder or the president of the organization doing a whiteboard session with new talent that just came on is key. Of course, remembering things like birthdays or the anniversaries of when people join the organization are really helpful. Getting new hires together in kind of a roundtable setting, whether it's 3 to 5 teammates, and having lunch, just providing kind of a cohort feel so that they are their own community within a community is a great way to go as well. These are ways that we can continue to build relationships, and also making new teammates aware of the leadership development opportunities that your organization has. Now, remember, no matter how big or small your organization is, investing in your talent is going to be the highest ROI investment you can make. And so when we talk about leadership development, it could be going to a conference. It could be taking, an online executive education course or some kind of certification. So it doesn't need to be a huge expense. It's more about demonstrating and really supporting the ongoing learning for your teammates. They appreciate that. It makes them more fulfilled and more capable to help support your clients and customers, and ultimately your organization. Really important to try to make time for one-to-ones with each new teammate, especially when you're an earlier stage business that is getting ready to grow. Those tight relationships enable the team to get so many more things done. And the best ideas oftentimes come from new teammates in those one-to-ones that are asking questions that are really good questions. Why do we do something this way? And I would also encourage you as the leader of the business to encourage new teammates to ask those questions, but also to write down all of their ideas. So in that first 90 days, they are new to the organization. They bring such an opportunity to really continuously improve the organization. So have them write down all of their ideas. Let's say they write down 50 in their first 90 days. If 2 or 3 of those end up being things that get implemented, well worth it. And that's a real opportunity for that new teammate to create impact. So now that you are prepared to onboard top talent, go have fun and onboard that top talent. And again, that will support your success. That will help you go from a business that is creating between 200,000 and 2 million in revenue to becoming a business that is worth at least $10 million. We want to help you do that so that you can create opportunities for individuals in your community, in your state, in your country, and really around the world. So thank you for joining today. This session was on onboarding top talent. We look forward to being with you for our next session. And in the meantime, keep up the great work as you create a business that is worth at least $10 million. This is Graham Weimiller. Have a great day. Take care.